Premolars look like canines in both upper and lower. If you have learned carving the canine, it is very easy to carve the premolars. Draw the outline same like incisors and canines on the buccal and lingual surface. The buccal aspect has two slopes and a cusp similar to canine. Only difference is the height of the cusp is almost 1 millimeter less than the canine. Start defining the cusp tip by removing the wax. Also, start removing the proximal side and bring the shape. It will be similar to the initial steps of carving of the canine. Once the shape of the crown and the cusp was defined, proceed to define the occlusal cusps. There are two cusps, one in the buccal side, one in the lingual side. Remove the wax in the center and define the cusps. Extend down to define the cervical areas. Uniformly define all around, reduce the crown surface and define the labial, lingual and proximal surfaces. The buccal cusp tip is slightly inclined. To create the pattern, start reducing the wax at the occlusal third of the buccal cusp. Similarly, in the lingual side also. The lingual cusp is little shorter than the buccal cusp. Define the buccal side cusp slopes similar to the canine. In between, define the cervical area repeatedly. Start reducing the bulk as well as define the lingual aspect of the crown. Reduce all around to come to the normal size of the premolar. While reducing, always follow the pattern. Define the occlusal inclinations, occlusal outline of the crown. Carving the typical pattern of two cusps in the buccal and lingual side will give the beautiful occlusal outline. The lines will join and give a pattern like a H. Make sure you get the hexagonal pattern for the first premolar. In between, remove the excess waste wax for a clean carving table. Start measuring the tooth to bring the natural size. The length of the crown from the occlusal to cervical area in the buccal aspect, it will be around 8.5 millimeter. The mesiodistal diameter of the crown is 7 millimeter occlusally and it is only 5 millimeter in the cervical area. The labiobuccal diameter of the crown is 9 millimeter. The labiobuccal diameter of the crown at the cervical area is 1 millimeter lesser than the occlusal aspect. It is around 8 millimeter. The mesial curvature in the cervical line is 1 millimeter, but in the distal aspect it is almost nil, like a straight line.